All right, so I've seen some of you are actually interested in some real testing. This is what we do for all of our servos. They're tested at the manufacturer, and then we retest them here. Certified force gauges, they're lab certified. They come with specifications after testing to show that they're in their parameters. We have a much larger one for the 5th scale and 8th scale servos as well. Proper power supply, proper solid mount, 1/8 inch steel, using little adapter plate because it's a small micro, and the main plate is used for standard size servos, 10 scale, 8 scale. The way it's done has to be 24 millimeters from servo spline center to the point of contact. It's an instant torque rating. Power has to be turned on instantly and off. No dial, controlling it, like turning the power on, turning it off. If you do it faster, you get more power instantly. You do a little bit slower, it affects it drastically. You have to do it by a button, a simple on, off, period. It's the only way to do it properly. From center spline out to point of contact, you have to be 24 millimeters. 24, just titch over. Set the voltage, amperage, everything's controlled here. I'll show you temperature, force gauge set for peak force. I have it easily set up on just a receiver and the power supply straight to the wire of the servo, and use a simple Futaba remote just to click it on and off. You see, and then it's 3 position. This is the extra, and then down, down again. Boom, 200 ounce. We test this multiple times at all the different voltages, 6 volts, 7.4, 8.4, multiple times, over and over, typically 5 times. We have our testing procedure written out and posted on our pages. I've made super long videos, the truth behind servo testing, and explaining it in super great depth. It's like a 45-minute video. If you really want to learn how it all works and how it's properly done, procedure, everything, go watch that video if you got time. And if you want to learn, got to spend the time. Anyways, we do it all. We take the averages and mark it down. One thing many people who don't actually build their servos or are actual servo companies know is there's a 10% variance in all servos. Reason being, these motors are so small, especially at micros. As they get bigger, it's a little bit different, but standard size, micros, nanos, the motors are so small, they can only be made so precisely. So the power output of those motors from the motor manufacturers has a 10% variance. It's either going to be 10% above what it's supposed to be, 10% below, could be dead on. But then you need to put that into the servo spec, right? So this is why we do multiple tests on multiple servos. We'll test, say 5. Same tests over and over, get the average, put it there. Because this servo right here may test dead on. We may run another one, and the 10% variance may put out, 220, 10% on 220 ounce, right? So 220 could be low 220, or low 20% or 20. So I'm stumbling here. Low 10% variance on 200, so take away 20, 180. So it's a pretty big gap, really. Could be 180 ounce up to 220 ounce. That is a possible 10% variance. They're not all like that at all. They're pretty standard across, but motor manufacturer says there couldn't be up to a 10% variance. So test this one a few times. Dead on again. You want to make sure the gap between the horn to the force gauge is absolutely as much as nothing as possible, basically. You want it basically touching, but not if it touches. Obviously the gauge will start to read. But if you have a larger space in between, that space is going to give it time to accelerate, and you have greater force on the impact, which is going to raise the numbers up. You have to have the servo completely solid mounted. You can't do it straight off the horn, straight to a force gauge. None of this freaking luggage scale we use to weigh banner packages, this junk. You can't hook this up to something and then hook it to another line and hook it to a link that's on a mount and think that there's no play between this and the linkage, which is plastic rod ends on an axle that's used or stuck down by screws into wood, that none of that's going to have any sort of play. It is 100% is going to. And because of that, those numbers are going to be completely wrong. Even if it's just a little bit, not being able to hold it dead steady, it's completely wrong. It has to be completely solid mounted, 24 millimeters, exactly. That's just how these things are rated. See, a little bit too close, back it up. Bring it back down. 202. Same thing every time. I'm going to change this out and put another servo on and do that one just a couple times. I'm trying to make this quick for you, not do the whole thing. You want to watch the whole videos? Go check out our other videos. We have servo testing videos on the YouTube, on our Facebook page. We post them. This is really how servo testing is done and how you get legitimate numbers. All right, so here's another brand new servo. Just a little tag on it. Connect. One thing to note, I had to make this kind of jimmy rigged horn that's longer using our M3 micro horn because they're not 24 millimeter. They're about 16 millimeter. So used a 1/16 inch steel, drilled it out to fit, and set it 24 mil. It's a little bit of a janky horn, but I mean, it's completely solid and it's 24 mil, so it's perfect. Set this on. Make sure there's clearance. Set. 207. Clicking sounds are me adjusting the height of the horn to make sure the gap is closed. 208. 208. Starts heating up, it might eventually start going down. Ooh, 210. Didn't reset either. Just trying to show you guys real quick, a quick video of testing done properly, even though we're already at 8 minutes. 209. So that's how it's done. If you guys have questions, leave me comments, send me messages. We're always around, happy to help, happy to answer questions. We won't test other company servos because that's just not good etiquette. That's how you start drama and issues. You don't need to mess with other people's products. We will show you our own. We will test you our own. If you want us to test your personal servo, send us a message. Maybe we'll let you send it in. We'll test it and we'll send you your results. But we're not going to post anyone's other product results anywhere. It's not our business. We're not worried about it. We only concern with our products, getting you guys the best ones possible, making the most power, as durable as we can, with the highest quality, and keeping them affordable, not overpriced. So, hope you guys enjoyed this. Some proper testing, and take those other YouTube tests with a grain of salt, because that's about all they're worth.